Okay, so I'm getting ready for the gym. I'm actually heading to the gym this morning. And I had a really beautiful conversation with Creator this morning. I think it was actually more my spirit guide. And uh, there was a whisper, like I've been feeling for years. Carrie, you got to get back to the gym. I used to be in really great shape. In fact, I don't know if many of you know my history, but in 1998, or was it 1999, I did the Body for Life challenge, and I started working out, and I was so committed to it. I was about 45% body fat, and these are my before pictures. And within 3 months of working out very, very hard, very dedicated, and especially my menu, I worked extremely hard, and these are my results after 3 months. And so I ended up winning seventh in Canada out of 20,000 applicants, and that was a real, prideful experience because, damn, I worked hard. Well, I kept that body for the next, oh gosh, it would have been almost 10, 15 years. Even I had, of course, I got pregnant again, looking like that, and I was on 3 months bed rest with my second. I got very large again, but I knew how to reverse that, and so I did the Body for Life challenge again on my own, and turned my life around completely and got in the best shape of my life. I was even in probably better shape than the first time. So, and so I continued that long time, for a long time. So then we get to my 50th birthday. By this time, uh, I have divorced my first husband. I've had a second relationship for 5 years. He left me for a 23-year-old, which was crushing for me because I was in the best shape of my life. I was a happy, really successful in real estate. I was top in all the province, for real estate. I won every monthly award for 17 months out of 24. And yeah, I was really rocking it. I had to hire a nanny because my hours were so long. I was really dedicated, but I still had time for the family and for my partner. But he decided that he wanted a trophy wife. He actually told me that, and I thought, have you seen me? I was pretty much a trophy wife, and but he wanted someone young. He kept saying, "I wish I had met you when you were in your 20s," and I was coming up to 49, 50 at that time. So, anyways, on he left for a 23-year-old. He got, and thank God he did, because that opened the door. I wouldn't be here in Portugal. I probably wouldn't be alive, to tell you the truth, had I continued on in that relationship. It was really tough. So, anyways, I then went into another relationship with my cowboy, and he taught me so much about horses, and it was a different lifestyle completely, and I loved it. And so, in that relationship, that was where I started to gain weight, and I really gained weight, and got big. Yeah, and so I got even bigger than I was originally when I started the Body for Life program. Okay, so this morning, I've been hearing for years now, Carrie, you have to get in shape. I've ended up with 8 heart attacks, heart surgery, and I know that I'm shortening my life by, being the physical condition that I have been in. And so, again, this morning, this voice, get up. It's time. You have to do this. And I was like, I don't want to do it. I really like being chubby. That isn't what I said, but it's how I feel, right? And I thought, wait a minute, do I really like this? And I had to, look for the reasons, I guess. And that's what the voice said. It said, why do you keep, what is the motive to harm your body? Because you realize in order to be the ultimate spiritual self, you have to love yourself unconditionally. And when you do that, you actually take on your ideal form, right? Everything just naturally comes into play. All that dialogue, all the stuff, the stress eating, the eating late, the not caring for your vessel, all of that just melts away the moment that you make that decision to step into your true spiritual self and ultimate spiritual self. So part of being extremely spiritual is taking care of your vessel. And I had to analyze it and think, I haven't been taking care of my vessel. Because taking care of the vessel is eating and fueling it properly, right? Have I been doing that? Have you been doing that? And no, chocolate is not a vitamin, Even, dark chocolate, they say, but yeah, is good for you. But I was eating the milky, sugary stuff. I really came to realize I would think I was a sugar addict. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, never have. And but sugar, that was a real issue for me, I think. And hence why you see me from about here up, right? And I really neglected my body. I can tell you that. So this little voice inside, it was beautiful conversation, and it wasn't inside, it was outside of me. It was like a spirit guide, gently guiding me, no judgment, but just asking questions. And it said, what is the reason that you, every moment that, every time that you start to get in shape and you start to feel really good and someone compliments you, immediately you go backwards and you start to do your old routine. You start eating the unhealthy foods. Why is it that you do that? And it was the first time I was ever really honest with myself, because I gave her the regular answer. And it was like, yeah, well, I just, I don't even remember what I said. And she said, no, I want you to be honest. I want you to search for the answer. I went, okay. So I closed my eyes. And I had to dig deep, and I went, oh my gosh, wow. Being in ultimate shape was actually the end of my marriage. That's going to make me cry. We got in the best shape of our lives, and he had never been in that kind of shape, never in his life. He was 118 pounds when I met him, only 8 pounds more than I was, and yet he was 8 inches taller than me. So he was really, really thin, but what a dynamo, and really an amazing man. And so when I started to go on the program, he started seeing results. I begged him to join me on it, and he wouldn't do it. And I thought, okay, fine. If you're not going to do it with me, I'm still going to do it myself. And so I started working out. I started having the menu. And within 2 weeks, huge differences. And he sat me down one day and went, okay, you got to tell me, what is it that you're doing here? And so he joined me, and I made all the meals for him. He was on a weight gain. I made all the meals for me, weight loss, and then, of course, the kids I still had to. So 3 meals I was really making for in a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and all the snacks. And he got in the best shape of his life as well. So the two of us were stunning. We looked like an ultimate couple, and in the best shape of our lives. But it wasn't long after that I can understand why things happened, because if you've been the guy that got sand kicked in your face for your whole life you were the skinny guy and people would put you down, and especially big guys, right? They would make fun. And then all of a sudden you were the hunk and the girls are throwing themselves at you. I understand what happened. And then ultimately, once our relationship was done, we were still living together, but I also stepped out. And so, it was a breakup of our marriage, and it was a good marriage. People cried when they found out that we were breaking up, because we were such a fun couple and such a beautiful couple. But I also understand now why we broke up, because what a beautiful family he now has with his stepsons, and they were brought up with our girls, and I understand. Thank God we broke up, because what a beautiful family, extended family we both have, right? Wouldn't have these beautiful people in our lives had we taken a different route. But there was still that pain that when I got in the best shape of my life, it was the end of my marriage. And then I continued on with that condition, and even that wasn't good enough. I was working out 4 or 5 days a week, plus weekends. I was athletic, and I still was rejected for the 23-year-old because my body was too old looking in his eyes. And yes, I hear you. You're like, F you to him, right? And I felt that. But ultimately, it was the end of that relationship that working out that much still didn't keep that, I guess some would consider it a marriage, because we lived together for 5 years almost. And that one went by the wayside. Thank God it did. Again, I wouldn't be alive, I don't think, had I stayed there, because it was just so interesting. And so when I did finally say I give up, I realized what I was doing was testing my cowboy, because there were a lot of really sexy women around us. I don't know if you've seen many cowgirls, but boy, they're in great shape. A lot of them, most of them, are in very, very great shape, good shape. And so I think by this time I was somehow deep down, subconsciously testing him. Will you love me if I'm fat? And I discovered that, yeah, he still loved me even when I got bigger. He did have a conversation with me, but it was more out of health concern than anything. He was a really good guy. And so ultimately, the age of 50 to 60 almost, I'm 59 and a half now. And those 10 years, that decade, has been riddled with health issues. And when you're helping everyone else, you kind of forget about yourself sometimes. Or ultimately, like this conversation this morning, I was self-sabotaging for a reason, out of fear, I guess, that, if I get in really great shape, will it be the end of my relationship again? Because, I've often said to Linz, I think that you like bigger women. I think that, and he's like, no, really, I'll love you regardless. I trust he would love me unconditionally, whether I'm big, small, whatever. But he ultimately wants me to be healthy, because it really scared him when I had all the heart issues. So I get that. So in the conversation again, I keep going back to this, I'm sorry, but I had the epiphany that, wow, being in shape to me was painful, because not only was it the end of my relationship, and I had the rejection, no matter what I did, I was being rejected by the second. And so I was like, F it, I'm just going to go totally swing the other way. But ultimately as well, the reasons why I was staying big was I didn't want the attention. I had had a couple of near attacks. And so that makes you, and I don't know, I just was feeling that, do I want that kind of attention again? Because when I was like rocking it, in my most spiritual self, I was really in alignment with myself. I was going to be here a long time. And so that's when I realized, I've been thinking for a long time, I don't know if I really want to be here much longer. That's ultimately the truth, right? How much longer do we want to be here? And if I can't commit suicide because I know about that, then it is actually a slow suicide of not wanting to eat properly, because then it'll shorten the lifespan on this planet. Bingo. Ding, 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 ding. So Spirit went, yes, thank you for being honest with yourself and with me. You know, when the emotions come up, that's when you know that you're really being honest with yourself. That's when you know, I hit a nerve there, because it's causing the emotions to be freed, right? And the tears well up. And if this occurs with you, really let those tears flow. I've already done it. This is like the residual effect. So then I had to think, okay, those are all really poor reasons to not be my ultimate spiritual body, mind, spirit. And they're all about self-sabotage and really ultimately not wanting to be here. And then Spirit started to show me memories that I had totally forgotten about. When I was in my most ideal condition, the relationships, the solid relationships I had with my children, with my best friends, you know, I was athletic. I would pick the kids up and say, okay, come on, we're going bike riding or mountain hiking, or, you know, as a single mom, I did a lot of stuff with the kids that I could because I was really fit. And I remember doing push-ups in the backyard, or pull-ups in the backyard, and I pulled off like 10, 15, 20, just boom, boom, boom. And the kids next door were like, holy macro, your mom is like Superwoman. And my kids had great pride in that I was in, you know, such great shape. It was like, yeah, my mom rocks, right? It was really cute. But ultimately, it was me that felt really, really great. I felt dynamic, unbeatable. And that's your ideal spiritual self. When you have such confidence, when you want to be here for a long time. That's what they reminded me. Do you remember how you loved life and how you loved yourself and how eager you were to wake up every morning? You would jump out of bed, you know, whether you had a partner or not, long-term partner. You were out of bed and you started the day and you were singing in the kitchen. You were just a happy, happy camper. So don't you want to live life like that? You know, you're going to be here for the time that you're going to be here. And you have a choice. Either you can be here miserably and self-sabotage and go, I don't want to be here, which was me. Or you can turn all of this around and say, I am so blessed. I am so happy I am here. And I am going to take care of this vessel because ultimately no one else can. It's really up to me. It's really up to you. Everything I'm saying here is my experience, but I'm hoping that you're learning or questioning, learning to question for yourself. What is your obstacle? What is being your reasons for not getting in ultimate condition, body, mind, spirit, right? Because the spiritual quest is not just oming and toning and becoming that beautiful spiritual enlightened self. It is also caring for your body, mind, spirit. It is also caring for your mind. And funny enough, when you start caring for your body, your mind naturally comes along. Your mind becomes happier. It's fed. It's oxygenated. It is feeling really good about itself. So I invite you to join me every morning with a morning routine and stick to it. The moment that you start to fall back and you go, oh, I'm self-sabotaging again, someone's complimenting me, and if the first inkling is to go back to that fridge, go, no, that's the old me. I'm not doing that anymore. I have a goal. I have a commitment. I have this. So this mind map has traveled with me. As you can see, it's beaten up. But this mind map has traveled with me for a very long time. So here, actually, I'll do it this way. So that's my before and after, right? This is my before, this is my after. And, I love golfing, and I was in the ultimate shape for golf. And so anyways, I just have carried that around forever. And I look at it sometimes, but you got to make a mind map and look at it daily and really visualize. This is the key why and how I was able to make such big transformations, and same with my former. We were very much into visualization. He was ex-business partner. Yeah, there's a ding. Don't know if you just heard that. But he was ex-business partner with Tony Robbins, and I ultimately became a partner with everyone. And so, we were very skilled at visualization. And so that is a big part of your body transformation. So I'm going to make the commitment to you here and now. I'm going to do it. And so it is. Hope you join me.